Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, just walked into a small, run-down apartment, and what he found left him speechless. The person who once believed in him, guided him, and helped shape his dreams, was now struggling to survive. And what he did next isn't just inspiring, it stunned the world. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's dive into what really happened. It all began when Michael Jordan, now a global icon and basketball legend, decided to take a break from his busy schedule and return to his hometown for a charity visit. He wanted to see the places that shaped him and reconnect with the community that had watched him grow from a young boy with a dream into the world's greatest basketball player. As he walked through the familiar streets, memories came rushing back: the old playground where he learned to shoot his first basket, the small corner store he used to visit after school, and the local school where a teacher had changed his life forever. It was then that he overheard quiet whispers from the neighbors about someone in need. Someone who had once been a part of his life and had left an unforgettable mark on his journey. Curious and concerned, Michael followed the trail, which led him to a small apartment building that had clearly seen better days. The exterior was worn, the paint peeling, and the steps creaked with age. But what waited inside would leave him stunned. There, sitting alone in a dimly lit room with a single flickering bulb overhead, was Mrs. Anderson, his childhood teacher. The walls were peeling, and the apartment looked tired and forgotten, just like its occupant seemed to feel. When she looked up, her eyes widened in disbelief. "Michael, is that really you?" she asked, barely recognizing the man who had grown into a towering figure of inspiration and success. For a moment, time seemed to stop. The woman who had believed in him when no one else did, who had encouraged him to push beyond his limits and dream bigger than his surroundings, was now facing struggles Michael never imagined. Seeing her like this, vulnerable, alone, and in need, stirred something deep within him. He knew, at that very moment, that he couldn't leave without making a difference. As Michael Jordan stepped further into the small apartment, the full reality of Mrs. Anderson's situation hit him like a fast break on the basketball court. The place was cramped, with just a few pieces of old furniture scattered across the room. The walls, once painted with bright colors, were now peeling and faded. A single flickering light overhead barely illuminated the space, casting long shadows on the worn wooden floor. The air was cold, and the faint smell of old paint and dust filled the room. On a small table in the corner lay stacks of unpaid bills, letters from the utility company, and a few faded personal notes. The basics of life, food, warm clothing, and everyday necessities, were scarce. Even though she had spent decades shaping the lives of children in the neighborhood, inspiring them to chase their dreams and excel, she now struggled to make ends meet. Michael learned that Mrs. Anderson had devoted her entire life to teaching, often putting the needs of her students before her own. She had stayed late at school, helped children with homework, and even used her own money to buy supplies for those who couldn't afford them. Yet, despite her selfless service, she had no retirement savings, and her modest teacher's pension barely covered rent and groceries. Seeing this, Michael felt a mix of emotions surge within him: anger at a system that allowed such a kind-hearted person to struggle, sadness at seeing someone who had given so much left in such hardship, and determination, knowing that he had to do something to help. How could someone who had dedicated their life to helping others be forgotten? In that moment, Michael made a quiet but firm decision. He would find a way to make a difference, no matter what it took. Michael Jordan didn't make a single announcement about his visit. There were no cameras, no media crews, no flashing lights, just a quiet, unwavering determination to do what felt right. He sat with Mrs. Anderson in her small apartment, listening intently as she shared stories from her teaching years. They laughed together over old memories, recalling moments of hope, inspiration, and the small victories of children she had guided through life. But beneath the smiles, Michael could feel the weight of her struggles, and he knew it was time to act. Without hesitation, Michael began making plans to help in a way that would truly change her life. He arranged for her apartment to be fully renovated, transforming it from a worn, tired space into a bright, comfortable, and welcoming home. Modern appliances replaced the old, broken ones, fresh furniture filled the rooms, and every detail was chosen to ensure she could live comfortably and with dignity. But Michael's help didn't stop at material improvements. He also set up a secure financial plan, making sure she would never have to worry about bills or expenses again. Beyond the apartment, Michael wanted to honor Mrs. Anderson's lifelong dedication to education. He created a scholarship in her name, designed to provide children in the community with access to the kind of education she had always believed in. The scholarship would ensure that her impact extended far beyond the walls of her classroom, touching generations of young students who might one day pursue their dreams just as Michael had. Through these actions, Michael Jordan wasn't just giving back, he was preserving a legacy. He made sure that the teacher who had once believed in him would continue to inspire and help others, proving that true greatness is measured not by fame or fortune, but by the lives you lift along the way. When Mrs. Anderson realized what Michael Jordan had done, she was completely overwhelmed. Tears ran down her cheeks as she struggled to find the right words. Michael, with a gentle smile, said, "You believed in me when no one else did. This is just my way of saying thank you." Those simple words carried years of gratitude and respect, an acknowledgement of a life spent helping others, often without recognition. Despite the magnitude of his gesture, Michael insisted on keeping it quiet at first. There were no flashy headlines, no press conferences, no social media announcements. He wanted this moment to be about her, not about fame or public attention. It was a private, heartfelt recognition of her lifelong dedication to teaching, her sacrifices, and the countless children she had guided through life. In that quiet, sunlit apartment, a teacher finally felt seen, valued, and honored. The impact of Michael's actions didn't stop there. The scholarship program he created in her name launched immediately, opening doors for children in the neighborhood who dreamed of education, opportunity, and a brighter future. Families began sharing stories of hope, parents expressed gratitude, and students felt inspired to work hard, knowing that someone believed in them just as Mrs. Anderson had once believed in Michael. What started as a simple act of gratitude turned into a ripple effect of change. The woman who had shaped a legend's childhood was now shaping the lives of hundreds more. Her influence, once confined to her small classroom, expanded into the community, touching lives in ways she had never imagined. Through Michael Jordan's quiet, humble gesture, the world witnessed the power of appreciation, kindness, and the lasting impact one person's dedication can have on generations to come. Eventually, the incredible story of Michael Jordan and his childhood teacher, Mrs. Anderson, reached the public. But it didn't happen through flashy headlines or sensational news reports. Instead, it spread quietly, through word of mouth, heartfelt interviews, and personal stories shared by those touched by the scholarship program. People were amazed to learn that a global superstar had quietly transformed the life of the teacher who had shaped him, without seeking any attention or praise for himself. The story served as a powerful reminder that true greatness isn't measured by trophies, championships, or record-breaking achievements. It's measured by the way we recognize and honor the people who helped us rise, and the way we extend a hand when someone else is struggling. Michael Jordan, a man who once soared above the rim and captivated millions with his athletic genius, showed that acts of kindness, especially quiet and selfless ones, can leave an even greater mark on the world than fame or wealth ever could. As the news spread, countless people were inspired. Parents encouraged their children to pursue their dreams while remembering to honor and support those who guide them. Students who received the scholarship began chasing education and opportunities they had never imagined. And communities across the world were reminded that small gestures of gratitude can create ripples of hope and change that reach far beyond what we see. The story of a legendary basketball player and the teacher who once believed in him became a modern-day tale of compassion, humility, and generosity. It inspired millions to not only chase their own dreams but also to pause, reflect, and lift up those who helped them along the way. Closing line for YouTube outro. This wasn't a story about basketball. It was about gratitude, generosity, and the incredible power of giving back, because true heroes don't just inspire, they lift others as they rise.